Hello everybody, welcome to the Sound Test Room. Today we're going to take a pre-release look at DrumPerfect by developer Marinus. I'm pretty sure he developed this because he was looking for a way to record real sounding drums from an app which is extremely difficult. It's to get all the nuances and stuff. Well, this app will let you do this, and it will let you do it extremely well. You can make this sound like a real drummer, probably to the point where if you programmed it properly, you wouldn't be able to tell the difference between this and a real drummer. So I'm going to run through a few things on here. Okay, so there's not enough time to run through this whole app properly. Okay, it's too massive and there's too much control. But you can import your own samples. It comes with some sample kits already. Acoustic kits and different jazz funk full kit, an acoustic kit, a dry kit, some other kits which I'll show you as well. It programs very similar to you will understand. You can see here you have your 4 beats basically, and split into 4. Okay, so your 16 track sequencer kind of drum programming section here, but this goes a lot deeper than those 16. Each beat can be split up into the 16 parts just by altering it here. So if I wanted to split this first beat, remember, 1 beat, boom, I can split that into 16, up to 16 parts, and there you go. And that now just represents the 1 beat. And then we can go along and we can see we've got 4 on the second, 4 on the third, 4 on the fourth. So we can go back there, and if I just tab on that as well. And you know, I'm not limited to 16. I can do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, anything up to 16. Okay, so you can see that you could split the whole thing into 64 sections. Okay, but that's still not enough. Not enough for Marinus. He needed to go deeper and deeper. So first of all, the kits. This is a sample of the dry kit. Your kits are here. Okay, and then you have kit 6, 7, 8, and you can go on up to 16 kits. Okay, so you can load 16 of your own kits if you want to, and you can use samples from any of those kits to build a kit. So if you've imported your own, right, so most of these kits are empty, but if you've imported your own, like I did this, I made a gadget kit, okay, from Core Gadget, only with a bass, a snare, and a hi-hat. Okay, so what we're going to start with the dry kit here. Now this is a pattern that I made up. Okay, so it's pretty straightforward. Just use this as 16 subdivisions. Now here we have our instruments to choose from that are in this particular kit. So we'll go to snare, we can see where our snare's hitting, so we could put one on there. Okay. Let's take our second beat, if you like, and let's split that into 8. So here's our second beat here. Now, say for instance we want those hits to be slightly louder, so we can select, just press select once there, touch that one. Okay, let's select that one and that one. Sorry, press select that one and that one. You see how you're starting to get a real human feel to that snare drum. Okay, so I'm just going to save that pattern as it is now, and that will be saved. Now notice also I can leave the others at 4. I can set the whole thing here with the subdivision to whatever I like. Now, the other super clever thing here is that we can adjust the probability. So let's press select again and just select those 3 end snare hits, and let's just take the probability down. Okay. Stop playing. one played there. So you're starting to get an idea. You can select the probability for every single hit, the velocity for every single hit. Now, we don't use select. What we can do is we can say, for instance, oh, I want this snare hit here. So we just slide velocity right up, hit the snare and hit it again. And the probability, of course, because it's set further down, will also adjust as well. So let's take the probability of that hitting every single time. And it's bright green again. So this snare hit here will hit every single time. Okay, so let's say, well, I'd like to put some ride in. Now you see this here, this little bar will allow you to add notes as the rhythm is playing. So say let's press record and it'll start to flash. So you don't even need to program that. So I'm going to save that kit there, that pattern if you like, and I'm going to go to another one I programmed. Well, let's change the kit. Let's do acoustic kit. Now, there is the gadget kit. So let's go to a pattern which is empty. So pattern 11, empty. I haven't named it. And we can load, save, choose different patterns that we've saved or we've programmed. So here's the gadget kit. So I have a kick, a snare, a gadget hi-hat, and a natural snare that I imported from another kit. So just basically to show you that we can just set this up quickly to do our kind of normal thing. So I've actually I'm going to put hi-hats on all of that. I'm going to select all and I'm just going to drop the hi-hats a little bit, okay? And I'm going to go with a gadget snare on the 2nd and 4th. So let's drop the back on there. So now we should have just the basic 4 on the floor electronic-y style hit. So say for instance, right, that's in pattern 11. Now I've put a real snare in here, so I'm going to just put a few little extra snare hits in here. And I'm going to select those 3 snare hits and drop the probability of them hitting all the time a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to save that as, I don't know, test W. Okay, close, and there it is, test W. Now, if we can load from different patterns that I've programmed, and I've programmed all these different ones in so far, okay? Now, let's see. The kits, for instance, right now, let's go. I've got my gadget kit there, which I did using audio paste. Very simple, took me about 10 minutes to sort out the whole kit. So if we go to edit here, edit kit, this is how deep this starts to get. Okay, for every single hit, that's for every single sample, like the bass drum, you can load 16 different samples in as well for different feel, different touch. So for instance, on this one, it's all my in this jazz funk one here. It's let's just get this to play. I'm going to play, and we can see the different samples are triggering at different times, which we can set up as well. We can pan with our selected instrument. We can control the volume, and it will be remembered when you save. We could just take the bass drum left or right. and then there's the master volume for the actual amp. Okay, so well I want to change that now, so I'm going to go to kit 5, which is nothing there. Press load, and let's see. Okay, vintage funk. We can sample all our kits here. So you can see that I've got my gadget kit. We've got a jazz funk kit. Let's stick with vintage funk. Okay. So like I said, remember that you can import all your up to 16 samples per kit, and then 16 samples per hit of kit. Okay, and we have different options and things, and load, save, close. Now also here we have song mode. Okay, now this has gone onto the song that I've previously loaded. So let's just stop song mode there. So these are the different patterns now that you can select from, so you can have up to 64 of these patterns programmed, and it would just be a matter of picking a pattern and making slight alterations to it, and it's bang. 64 patterns is a lot. So if we select one, then hit audition, now this is playing complex bell pattern with vintage funk kit. You can have 16 kits. And then if we were, like say for instance, acoustic full fast roll, we could go to our main page and we could find out what's going on there, so we can see how that's been programmed for each instrument that's in that particular drum kit. So you can see that you can dig quite deep, but you can make it quite simple and quite straightforward. So for instance, how would we build a song? Okay, so we just clear that song, yes. And say for instance, okay, I want to start this with just some hat clicks with the acoustic kit. So we'll audition. Okay, that's fine. So all we need to do is insert, and there it goes. And it's in the first. Now if we wanted to repeat that, we just do it again. Okay, so I want to go into like, let's see that that sort of floor tom thing. I did a floor tom thing with this audition. Okay. So I'm going to insert the floor tom thing there, and I'm going to press it again. See how simple this is? It's so complex, yet so intuitive, that once you've played with this app for maybe 5 or 10 minutes, you start to go, oh, I get it. It's really simple. Okay, so what we got now, so we can go back to the beginning of our song. Okay, so there you go. You get the basic idea of that. You can, of course, export. It works with Audio Bus. It works beautifully with Audio Bus. I've had it running, work particularly lovely with the AUFX stuff, with the dub and space. Great. Recorded it into Audio Bus. For instance, if we close now, we can say we get our export options. We can export from audio to audio share. That worked fine. Audio copy, SoundCloud, and Dropbox. To render a song, you can include the tail. You can select the number of measures you want. It's absolutely brilliant, and that was just for the loop, by the way. You can do the same for the song. It's fantastically complex, yet fantastically simple as well. You can copy and paste from other other drum kits that you've got. You can build a drum kit I could build a drum kit from Jazz Funk Full, the dry kit, the gadget kit, the acoustic full. Or the vintage funk here. So yeah, it's very, very, very good, and I love the fact that you can build as many samples, up to 16 samples per hit, which gives such incredible control. Now, one thing I'm going to show you before we go here. So if we just select Vintage Funk, we're going to have a look at the time shift. Now this is where time shift is where you'll be able to get the feel. You're going to be able to get complex triplets, stuff like that. So for instance, here we have, let me just choose, this one I did call snare work, which is just seeing if I could play around with the snare. And of course it has you can set the tempo. So let's tom and snare, let's see. See, I don't know if you can notice it, but this end snare hit here is slightly closer to this. Well, this is all to do with the time shift, and this is where you'll get the. So let's select all these snares, and let's time shift these snares. See? If we have them in the middle, they're going to be more or less right. So we can just do the same there, just deselect there. Maybe you can hear this clearer from a clean pattern. So let's, for instance, put in some kicks, and we'll put in some hi-hats as well. Okay, now let's select our hi-hats, and let's just shift all of them. You can just select one, and don't forget you can split this into 16 and then shift those as well. Okay, so if we just shift this round now. Okay, it's a bit harsh. See? So say for instance we just wanted to shift one, select that one there, and okay guys, so look, there's a basic, it's gone on nearly 20 minutes now, so there's a basic idea of how genius this drum programmer is. You can if you dig in, and like I said, it's not simple, and like you can, sorry, to do that you have to have program some very complex stuff, some very realistic sounding stuff, but you could just stick with the basic stuff and program your simple sort of electronic rhythms and stuff and still make them sound great. All right guys, that's DrumPerfect, that's by Mariners, and that's going to be out well, I don't exactly know when it's going to be out, but fairly soon I should think. And it's definitely one of the best drum apps I've ever used for programming realistic sounding beats. All right guys, hope you enjoyed this. I'll see you later.